Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to the Mixer, and today, in honor of today's video, I'm wearing my Chelsea jersey right here, guys, my traditional Chelsea jersey from back in the 2014 season. God, I love this shirt so much. I've actually very rarely used it, you know. Having a YouTube channel is a good excuse to use some of the clothes that I don't use anymore, you know. I'm just popping with my jersey here, you know. Today I'm going to be talking about the English Premier League, you know, which, in case you guys don't know, is probably the most traditional and the oldest football league in the, actually no, English football or soccer would be the oldest, but I meant it's not exactly the oldest league, but to me it is the most traditional. It was founded in 1992, the year that I was born. Pretty ironic, right? And it's gone through a few different changes. It used to be called the Barclays Premier League, and now it's just the Premier League, you know. So I started watching it back in 2014 when I also decided to support Chelsea, which actually went on to become champion of that year, you know. And the Premier League is a very balanced sports league, you know, and in my opinion it's actually the best one, you know, that we have within this sport specifically, and I'm going to explain why. But first, a few tidbits of info. I would have tried to memorize this, but guys, really at this point, any excuse to use my tablet, you guys know me at this point, right? I bought this thing for a reason, you know. It wasn't for this reason, but I have it, so I'm gonna use it, damn it, okay? So check this out, guys, no? So there are a total of 20 teams playing together in a pyramid scheme, and then it operates on a promotion of a system of promotion and relegation, which like all the leagues do. And check this out, the seasons run from August to May, with each team playing 38 total matches, playing all 19 other teams both home and away, and most games are played on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, you know. So it's really nice. It's over the weekend, so you can, like, after an entire week of studying and working, you know, you can just come home and relax and watch some football or soccer, you know. The reason that I say both football and soccer is to try to appeal to my subscribers in the United States and in Europe, because my analytics show that I do have both, you know. So I'm trying to appeal to both of you there, so somebody doesn't come later to the comments and correct me saying that I said it wrong, you know. So there, I'm calling it both just to satisfy both sides of the pond, okay? But anyway, so here's the thing. And if you don't manage to stay in the Premier League, you get relegated down to the EFL Championship. There are domestic cups like the FA Cup, the FA Community Shield, you know. But anyway, so here's the thing. Now, the current champions right now are Liverpool. They won the last title, and it's really cool because the most amount of championships won by one team is Manchester United. They actually have 13, you know. And if you guys know anything about Manchester United, you know that they have had quite a few amazing players, you know. Let's take a look at the roster, man. Like, United alone has had what? In no particular order: David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Cristiano Ronaldo. They've had Eric Cantona, Roy Keane, and then there was Wayne Rooney, who's the more recent, you know. We've had so many amazing players, you know, and it's really crazy because it seems like all of them wanted to play for United for some reason, you know. All of them wanted to play. We have had a few other really amazing players too, like I'm gonna get to that in a bit because it's a lot of players to talk about. But anyway, so and now the most appearances in the Premier League was by a player called Gareth Barry with 653, you know. So he played 653 games in total in the Premier League, and to this day the top goal scorer in the Premier League is Alan Shearer, who played for Newcastle with a total of 260 goals. This guy was really good, you know. He was really, really good at what he did. Now, here's the thing, and oh, check this out. This is really interesting. It seems here that 49 clubs have competed since the inception of the Premier League in '92. So, wow, 47 English clubs and 2 Welsh clubs, and 7 of them have won the title. So, United with 13, Chelsea, my team, with 5, Manchester City with 4, Arsenal with 3, Blackburn Rovers with 1, Leicester City with 1, and Liverpool with 1. Wow, so this is the first time Liverpool has ever won the Premier League. Wow. Now, it's not to say that they have never won an English championship, but because it's actually really strange. To me, it's really stupid because there used to be a Tier 1 English competition in English football, you know, and then all they did was change the name, and then all of a sudden it becomes a whole new competition, you know, unless there were a few other, you know, infrastructural changes that I didn't follow or something. But still, it seems kind of dumb to just give them a whole new title like it's a new competition, you know. But hey, I'm not here to judge. But anyway, so now let's talk about a few more juicy details, huh? There have been so many amazing moments in the Premier League, man. You know, ever since it started, there have been so many crazy, you know, games, highlights, players, you know, goals and assists, passes, you know. If you guys have the time later, go to the Premier League YouTube channel and check out the lists they have, man. Sometimes I lose hours watching those, you know, because they're so awesome. You know, they do compilations of different stories, you know, like these really epic duels between different clubs, you know, from the same city. So there are derbies, you know, and sometimes the best players, the top goals, this and that. that, something that I do on this channel a lot, I actually have played FIFA, I've played a lot of FIFAs actually, but an entire playlist, I had FIFA 19 and now I'm having 20, and at the end of those I do a top compilation, I do a top goals, top saves, now I'm going to be doing top misses, you know, so it's really cool. It's just the kind of sport that you always have something for a highlight reel, you know, and in the Premier League we have had so many amazing players pass through, you know, aside from the ones that I mentioned before. I know we also had Alan Shearer, who played for Newcastle, Matt Letizia, who played for Southampton, Joe Franconzola, who played for Chelsea, you know, and Didier Drogba. A few years later, we had Frank Lampard, who was the best player that I've seen for Chelsea. We had Steven Gerrard defending Liverpool. So there was a time when it was very, very, very balanced. You know, there were so many amazing players. It was crazy. And the thing with the Premier League is that the English created the sport, but they never really truly embraced it the way they should. You know, if you look back, like except for maybe George Best, there have been very few players from the English bloodline who have played this sport in a very superb way, you know. And usually it's somebody who comes from outside, who gives the Premier League a new taste, you know. I think the best example is probably Cristiano Ronaldo when he came to United, you know, and then he spent a few years there. He won his first Ballon d'Or, and he cemented his place as one of the best players in the world and in history. Then he went to Real Madrid, and the rest is, well, history. You know what happened there. So to me, he completely reinvented the position that he played in, you know, and we had so many amazing players coming through United, you know, and Cristiano, he actually ended up inheriting the number 7 jersey that belonged to Beckham and then Cantona and Paul Scholes too, I believe. So it's really weird how this the number 7 is symbolic in Manchester United because of this, you know. Each club has their own, you know, number that represents something, but I think in general within this sport, the number 10 is the most symbolic, you know. Just like with basketball, it's 23 because it's associated with Michael Jordan, you know. And I do think that 10 is always going to be the best in any place that you play, any country, any league, any level, any team. You're going to want to be the number 10 striker, the jersey, you know, or the midfielder. So we associated with Pele, with Ronaldinho, recently with Neymar, Ibrahimovic, Lionel Messi. So it's a very, very powerful number within this sport. In the Premier League, it kind of varies, you know, because like I said, the number 7 I think is much more symbolic, you know. We've had very, very amazing players pass through. We have right now Sergio Aguero playing for City, who's actually one of my personal favorites, you know. And there are a lot of amazing players who never even made it to the Premier League, like for example Ronaldinho or the original Ronaldo as well, and a lot of Brazilians. So it would have been quite something to see these guys play for an English team, you know. But guys, English football or soccer is very, very difficult, you know. Let me explain. Now, it is my opinion that English football or soccer is the most balanced sports league in the world because anything can happen, you know. If you go to Italy, for example, they really emphasize defense, you know. It's really hard to get past Italian defenders because they really, really try to prioritize that, you know. Sometimes it's actually rare to see a lot of goals happening in Italian football or soccer because the defenders are just so good at what they do, you know. It's a very defense-driven sport over there. If you go more to Germany, then it's different, then it's more attacking, you know. They bring in players like Robert Lewandowski or Marco Reus to try to score as many goals as they can, you know. And it's actually very common to see many goals happening in the Bundesliga, so they really prioritize offensiveness, you know. And here in Brazil, actually no, screw Brazil, but in Spain, for example, in La Liga, it's a little more, you know, tactical, you know. They actually emphasize much more passing and playmaking, you know, and actually creating opportunities to score goals, you know. Then again, when you have something like Barcelona playing for the years where Xavi and Iniesta were there with Messi, you know, climbing up to the top, you know, they kind of like created a whole new style of playing that was actually brought by the old Dutch players, you know, way back in the day of Johan Cruyff. So it's actually really nice how Barcelona modernized that. Like they implemented the style into their playwork and they modernized it, you know. So I think that Spain has a lot of it's very balanced, like in terms of playmaking, you know. Then when we get to England, then it's different. Then it literally is a balance of everything. You have a lot of offensiveness, you have defensiveness, and you have a lot of playmaking, you know. So, and like I said, it's not the English that do it. It's the people who come from outside, you know, the foreigners who come and give their own little taste of it. Not to say that the English players don't do what they have to do. They actually play well. But aside from players like Gerrard and Frank Lampard and recently Harry Kane, aside from those, I can't really think of any players who were too good, you know. But it's like in general, foreigners are always going to be better at this sport than the English, despite being the ones who invented it, you know. So I'm sorry to say it, but you know, that actually shows in international level because England has only won one World Cup in their entire history, which was in '66, and it was controversial, you know. I forgot exactly what the story was. There was a goal that was allowed even though the ball didn't actually go in, you know, something like that. But anyway, maybe it's a curse, you know, because of that controversial win, they have never won another World Cup. But anyway, the point is, guys, that it's really tough. You know, there are many players who they play really well in their respective leagues, and then when they try out the Premier League, they can't, you know, because the pressure gets to them. It's a very, very brutal game, you know, and it's really hard to play depending on the team that you pick, you know. Like if you go to play for Manchester United or Liverpool, you're gonna have a hard time if you don't adjust to their style of play, you know. Ibrahimovic, who is one of the best players I have ever seen in my entire life, couldn't even hack it, you know. He went to United, stayed for barely half a season, I think, and then he just left. You know, he couldn't take it. You know, he had to go to Los Angeles Galaxy in the United States because, let's be honest, man, if you go to the US, it's because you suck. You know, like Americans they will never embrace soccer, like the great Homer Simpson once said, you know. But yeah, I just think that it's a very balanced, it's the one competition where the small team can defeat the big team, you know, like the dwarves can topple over the giants. And it's not like here in Brazil where like sometimes the big team just doesn't play well or something, or they just slip up, or they don't really take it too seriously. No. In England, it's both teams playing like you have maybe Manchester United at the top of the league, and then West Brom, who's at the very last, and West Brom defeats the United, you know. It doesn't make sense, but if you watch the game, there are so many tactics, you know, so many plays that are well executed, and passes and goals at the right time, you know. So, and then it's very possible for West Brom to defeat Manchester United if they play well, you know. There's actually a very interesting story of Leicester City, who a few years ago, they just defied all logic within the sports world, man. They came from what, the fifth or fourth division in England, you know, and they just kept winning until they finally made it to the Premier League, and they won that, you know. They literally just trampled everyone in the Premier League, man. It was crazy, and they won. They made it to the Champions League. That is like the ultimate underdog story, you know. We will probably never see a story as amazing as that, you know. And there's a whole journey. They were buying new players and trying out new tactics, you know. Jamie Vardy became one of the best players in the country, you know, called up to the international team and this and that. And I'm really spitting a lot, aren't I? I'm just noticing that my mouth is dry and somehow it's producing saliva. But anyway, so and then it's one of those things, you know, anything can happen in England, man. In English football or soccer, literally anything can happen, and that's why I love it so much. But anyway, guys, I think that's it. I've really rambled on. I barely had to use my Italian, you know, just at the beginning to give you guys the tidbits of info. Just wanted to give more of my personal opinion about this, you know. And if you happen to enjoy this sport and you do like the Premier League, make sure to drop a comment below letting me know what you think about it, you know. Give this video a like or a dislike if you disagree. That's no problem. It's going to help the video grow anyway, you know. If you happen to like this video, subscribe to my channel because I do a lot of different kinds of content, not just talking about sports, you know, vlogs, gameplays, challenges, all a bunch of weird stuff, you know, reviews and whatnot. And also hit the notification bell while you're at it so you can know exactly when I upload a video. Sometimes I upload 1 per day, sometimes 2 per day, depends on what my mood is. But I never tell anyone what time I'm gonna upload, you know, so it's better to hit the bell to know exactly when my videos come out, okay? And that's it for now, guys, alright? Thanks for sticking around here till the end. This is Chazzy, signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.